Want to follow rules, I make them. And when necessary, I break them.
Archie Comics' Veronica Lodge is the classic spoiled rich girl. Like other archetypal rich girls, Veronica is selfish, shallow, and believes that other people are beneath her because of her wealth. But while the Archie Comics character is content to remain a bratty princess, the Veronica of the CW's update, Riverdale, decides it's time to make a change.
I made a pact with myself to use this as an opportunity to become, maybe, hopefully, a better version of myself.
Riverdale's decision to update Veronica reflects our culture's shifting attitudes towards wealth and inequality. Today, there's an ever-growing pressure to check your privilege, to be self-aware of the disproportionate advantages that money and status can provide.
I am going scorched earth on these privileged, despicable miscreants.
Veronica 2.0 demonstrates the need for the privileged woman to adapt to a society that's far less likely to tolerate her indulgence and arrogance.
And I'll take you all on my dad's jet to Cancun for spring break.
Oh, y'all wretched.
You're an awful person.
Ultimately, Veronica's journey towards self-improvement exposes the system that has long created and corrupted spoiled rich girls like her.
I'm back to being the shallow, toxic rich bitch who ruins everything in her path. Which is unfortunate.
But it also reveals this character's unique ability to dismantle that system.
That is all you had to say, you ass. And now everyone will know.
Here's our take on how Riverdale's Veronica Lodge represents the spoiled rich girl character type reimagined for a modern check-your-privilege era. One who seeks to use her privilege for good rather than for herself, and for whom entitlement is a potential form of empowerment.
I did this for me, Daddy.
You're watching
The Take.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to share and subscribe.
This video is brought to you by Skillshare, an online learning community where millions of people come together to take classes that fuel their creative journey. If you're one of the first 500 people to click the link in the description below, you'll get 2 free months of Skillshare Premium. So join today and start exploring your creativity.
Spoiled rich girl, check. Major daddy issues, check.
Since her introduction in Archie Comics in 1942, Veronica Lodge has been depicted as a posh, arrogant, rich princess. Veronica is so defined by her wealth because she is one of very few characters in the Archie universe for whom wealth is even a factor. As Bart Beatty writes in his book, 12 Cent Archie, Veronica's atypicality is a function of class privilege in a fictional world in which class otherwise does not exist.
Look at us, throwing money away on bejeweled eggs like we're a family of Russian oligarchs, when there are people in this town who can't even pay their own medical bills.
All her worst traits, her shallowness, selfishness, and general snobbishness, are understood as a consequence of Veronica's wealth. And since she's one of the only wealthy characters, these defects of her personality can be read as commentary on the upper class as a whole. Since our earliest stories, the spoiled rich girl has served as a universally understood symbol for all the worst character flaws of the wealthy and powerful.
Money handles most people.
Do you honestly believe that?
I've proved it.
Veronica shares a number of traits with classic rich girls from history and culture. Like Marie Antoinette, she's trapped by her spoiled rich girl identity inside a life of bountiful resources but limited prospects.
I have enough diamonds.
Like Salome, she exploits her station and her ability to command the male gaze to get what she wants.
You can persuade him. How? With your matchless beauty.
Like Jane Austen's Emma or her 90s update, Clueless's Cher Horowitz, Veronica seems to enjoy meddling in other people's relationships, however well-intended her manipulation may be.
God, this woman is screaming for a makeover. I'm her only hope.
And like Estella in Great Expectations, due to her upbringing, Veronica finds it difficult to be trusting or vulnerable, or to express her emotions the way other people do.
And to give that man the looks and smiles you never give to me.
Do you want me to deceive you?
To deceive him?
Yes. Yes. Him and many, many other men.
Veronica's haughty attitude
Riverdale High first opened its doors in 1941
And hasn't been redecorated since, apparently.
is also reminiscent of some infamous real-life heiresses whose blissful ignorance of ordinary life is a point of stuffy pride.
What is Walmart? It's like they sell wall stuff?
Real or fictional, and regardless of their era, what unites these ice princesses most is their sense of privilege. A belief that for them, the rules simply don't apply.
Law is something you get to break if you're rich.
Veronica even says this explicitly in Betty and Veronica 144 when she tells Betty, "I'm rich, you're poor. That makes me better than you." The comics version of Veronica embraces her entitlement, behaving selfishly and cruelly, even towards her friends. As part of a reoccurring joke, Veronica schemes to ruin Betty's clothes or hair. But even when she's chastised for her behavior, her friends never abandon her. So it's understandable that Veronica thinks the rules don't apply to her. She almost never faces consequences for breaking them, so she has no reason to change.
Bad to the bone, trying to control everyone around her, including her boyfriend and best friend. Check, check, check.
The Veronica we meet on Riverdale, though, is different. To begin with, she's a fallen rich girl.
10 minutes in and I'm already the Blue Jasmine of Riverdale High.
Veronica's father is in prison. This has not only humbled her, it's also left her with the desperate need to prove she's not on the same immoral path.
I know that I need goodness in my life. I need you in my life.
Meanwhile, Riverdale turns Cheryl Blossom into the spoiled queen bee of Riverdale High.
Veronica Lodge. I'd heard whisperings.
By having Cheryl start out with most of the same qualities Veronica had in the comics, the show provides a contrast that highlights what Veronica is running from.
I was like Cheryl. I was worse than Cheryl.
It also helps to illustrate a key difference between the two-dimensional world of the comics and the three-dimensional characters we meet on TV. While the short-form slapstick narratives of Archie Comics rely on its characters remaining static, audiences weaned on modern serialized TV dramas have come to expect that every action has a consequence for its characters and that they should change as a result.
You know, the Archie comic books, they're 16, they will always be 16. But that's not how it's going to be on Riverdale. The characters are going to change and grow and learn.
But is it really possible for the rich girl to evolve, to escape being spoiled rotten by her privilege?
But don't you think some people can't change? Like it's just in their DNA to be bad?
Veronica's main obstacle toward becoming a better person is her family, which represents the larger system of wealth and inequality that the spoiled rich girl helps to perpetuate.
No, I didn't achieve Harvard. Once again, my father meddled in my affairs and apparently bought my way into their ivy-covered walls.
Her father's life of crime makes this family an especially dark symbol of power.
My dad, he's
a mobster. I know.
But we can also interpret the link here between wealth and crime as symbolic. In the spirit of the saying, behind every great fortune, there is a crime. Some argue that being disproportionately wealthy while others are poor is in itself already a grievous wrongdoing.
And then you also have 3 people owning more wealth than the bottom half of American society. That is a moral and economic outrage.
Veronica's parents exploit her love and her loyalty to convince her to act immorally.
It's like you said, our family works differently from other families.
To them, she's a tool, much as the spoiled rich girl is also a tool of wealthy society.
At the morning dressing ceremony, rights of entry are given to members of the High Court.
The rich girl is a product of age-old class structures, and she's expected to act in certain ways to prop up the system, thus maintaining her own family's power.
Get back in line with this family, because you are a lodge before anything else.
This highlights one of the key reasons children get spoiled in the first place, to prepare them to be the spoiled adults of the upper class, defenders of the existing class hierarchy.
Some people are simply better than others.
Throughout the show, Veronica struggles to balance her loyalty to her new friends, whom she sees as fundamentally good people, and her duty to her family, who repeatedly asks her to manipulate those friends.
You're gonna be at ground zero, Veronica.
Yeah, the eye of the potential hurricane.
Dad, Mom, trust me. I'll keep my classmates from revolting when the news breaks.
Like other spoiled rich girls, Veronica realizes that her privilege is borrowed. Her power stems from the powerful man in her life.
That money's in a trust. I'm looking out for her future.
In the comics, Veronica's power is mostly limited to exerting influence over the men around her. Beyond her reliance on her father, it's implied she'll be expected to marry a certain type of man, while Mr. Lodge worries that Archie will try to wed his daughter. In Archie 157, he tells his butler Smithers, just being in the same room with him is flirting with death. Mr. Lodge's obsession with Archie arises from his knowledge that Veronica's future husband will eventually assume control of the Lodge family empire, and by extension, all of Veronica's money and power.
I beg your misogynistic pardon?
Although Riverdale generally operates on a more modern set of values than the Archie comics of the 40s and 50s, we can still see the many ways Veronica is expected to yield to the family patriarch in order to maintain her privilege.
You had the audacity to try to deceive me.
Whether it's her father wielding his influence over her boyfriends,
Archie, as long as you're dating Veronica, I'm going to demand the best from you.
Or Veronica bearing the consequences for her family's actions.
For your crimes against the town of Riverdale, for everything you and your family have done and continue to do, we find you guilty. Your sentence is this.
So even in this modern telling, the rich girl's power isn't really hers to control. To maintain her privilege, Veronica still has to serve the same rigid class structures that also preserve the ultimate power of men at the top. We've become familiar with the narrative of the spoiled rich man who's been groomed to take the reins from his successful father.
So we're gonna start running this place like a real business. My father and our firm demand nothing less.
Often, this expectation is placed on him without his ever being given the chance to consider whether it's what he actually wants.
I'm quitting, Dad. I don't want to work for you anymore.
In this case, we recognize the stereotypical behavior of the spoiled rich man as a form of overcompensating for his unreadiness or unwillingness to have this power forced upon him. But the spoiled rich girl often isn't being prepared for a formal position of leadership. The expectations that come with her status can be limiting, not only cutting off opportunities for personal or moral growth, but also presenting her with few socially acceptable options of what her future might look like.
You'll marry Sir Loris.
No, I won't do it.
Yes, you will. You're still fertile, you need to marry again and breed.
Walking through those ivory towers, I'd be letting you dictate the rest of my life. I'd graduate, get my MBA from Oxford, run a Fortune 500. The next 20 years would be mapped out by you.
Meanwhile, unlike so many examples of the spoiled rich kid, or even like Cheryl Blossom, Veronica's wealth doesn't come from generations of privilege. Her father built, and is still building, his fortune himself.
Archie, it's not just what he is. It's what he's planning to do in Riverdale.
But in addition to being new money and criminals, the Lodges are Latinx.
Eres tú, eres tú.
A divergence not only from the Archie comics, but from most of the wealthy families we see on TV. Both of these factors combine to suggest that the Lodge's wealth is more tenuous than that of a white establishment family like the Blossoms. This puts even more implicit pressure on Veronica to protect it, complicating her loyalties.
You always say, family is the most important thing.
For Veronica, becoming a better person means breaking away from her criminal family. Yet to challenge her father would also mean giving up his wealth and the advantages that it provides her.
Is it true what they say about your dad?
That he's the devil incarnate? I stand by my father.
This dynamic illustrates how no matter how virtuously the spoiled rich girl may want to act, eventually she must choose between doing the right thing and maintaining her power.
Blindfold's off, Daddy. I can't just put it back on.
Simply being aware of one's privilege or paying lip service to inequality does very little to change the status quo, unless you act consciously to rectify wrongs. Veronica is only able to counteract her father's crime by sacrificing her own fortune.
If I make this deal with you, that's it. That's the last thing you'll ever get from me.
If the spoiled rich girl wants to overthrow the system that created her, she must be willing to go down with it.
Fine. It's all blood money anyway.
Veronica's version of the spoiled rich girl also reveals the untapped power she holds.
No, Archie. It's adorable when you underestimate me.
Because she hails from a system of privilege, she is uniquely positioned to subvert it. Those same characteristics that define Veronica as the spoiled rich girl. Her attitude of belonging, her self-assurance, her knowledge of social rules, allow her to move confidently anywhere she chooses.
My fiance and I are here for the show. We want to see blood. The fighter's blood, yours. I don't really care, as long as it's red.
As seen when her father frames Archie for murder, and Veronica intimidates her way into an illegal boxing match to help him.
What's my name?
What's your name?
While this entitlement is traditionally portrayed as a negative trait,
I want the world. I want the whole world.
Veronica demonstrates that it can also be a powerful tool when used for good.
You know what happens to a snake when a Louboutin heel steps on it? Shut the hell up or you'll find out.
Meanwhile, Veronica's perception as a spoiled rich girl allows her to take advantage of men who underestimate her, to their peril.
That's right, Daddy. I'm shaking you down.
When her speakeasy is strapped for cash, she manipulates a mobster into a winner-takes-all poker game.
That's impossible.
Why? Elio? The house always wins. Isn't that what they say?
And when Veronica finally succeeds in having her father arrested, it's through cunningly using his own deception against him.
You're under arrest. For what?
For conducting illegal activities at your establishments.
In both situations, Veronica employs her rule-breaking confidence and exploits the male expectation that a woman can and will be cowed by force.
I will cut the brakes on his souped-up phallic symbol.
In his Glamour magazine article, The Enduring Allure of the Rich Bitch, Christopher Rosa suggests that the reason we love TV's spoiled rich girls is their freedom to speak their minds without fear of consequences.
Cheryl, you're acting like trash, and I don't want to get a citation.
Arguing that these rich bitches are actually inherently feminist in their fearless performance of traits that are usually discouraged in women.
You wanted fire? Sorry, Cheryl, bombshell. My specialty's ice.
Veronica's fearlessness allows her to point out the irony in situations.
Can't we just liberate ourselves from the tired dichotomy of jock, artist? Can't we, in this post-James Franco world, be all things at once?
Or call out others when she feels they're acting badly.
You literally have zero loyalty, you Ginger Judas.
Okay. And even though her power may originate from a man, she frequently wields it on behalf of her fellow women.
Call me, or any of these beautiful, young, strong, intelligent women, slut.
One more time.
In the comics, too, even if many of her defining personality traits are negative, Veronica is also the most empowered female character. While nice girl Betty pines for a boy who is mostly not interested in her, Veronica commands the attention of everyone around her. She easily wins the heart of Archie, and even when she decides to date other boys instead of him, Archie is still intensely loyal to her. In Betty and Veronica 76, Veronica learns that she even has the power to control Archie with the literal movement of her finger. So, can the spoiled rich girl break free from the cycle of privilege and change herself for the better? This update to Veronica suggests it is possible, with the right support.
Do I smell another classic B&V caper?
While Veronica's family demands blind loyalty to their own self-interests, her friends challenge and inspire her to become a better person, standing by her when her quest for self-improvement leads her family to turn against her.
You need to focus on yourself for a change. I'm saying this to you as your friend. Open the damn speakeasy.
In the comics, Veronica's money can't buy her happiness or fulfillment. She's always bored with Archie or constantly scheming to outshine Betty. But on Riverdale, Veronica finds purpose in being a good friend and a committed partner.
Archie, I am not letting my dad take away the one thing that I love. It's not happening.
Ultimately, what the spoiled rich girl needs to realize is that it's our relationships with other people that are life's greatest reward. While Veronica's redemption is a work in progress,
It was such a basic bitch move. It was like I was possessed by
Madam Satan?
the old Veronica.
through her unbreakable will, she's able to use her privilege for good, even stopping her family from committing some of its worst sins.
Yeah, I decided that you would cover Fred's medical expenses.
This reforming rich girl offers hope that change is possible for anyone, even for those who seemingly have no compelling reason to want it. Real improvements in our world happen when someone who has everything decides they want more, but from themselves.
Threatened much? Don't worry. You may be a stock character from a 90s teen movie, but I'm not.
If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and click the bell to get notified about all our new videos. This video is brought to you by Skillshare, an online learning community that offers affordable classes designed to fit your schedule and skill level. With Skillshare, you can try out illustration, experiment with creative writing, or master video editing. You'll get to do hands-on projects and receive feedback from your fellow lifelong learners. One Skillshare original you can check out is Sorel Amore's class on building a devoted YouTube following. The filmmaker and YouTube star will help you launch a channel of your own and create a posting schedule to get eyes on your work. Right now, Skillshare is offering our viewers 2 months access to all their classes for free. But that's only if you're one of the first 500 people to click the link in the description below. So join today and jumpstart your creative journey.